Okay, so step one, I've got my scale, I've got my jar, I've got my flour and my water. And I'm gonna put my jar on. I'm gonna zero it out and add 150 grams of water. Oh, not too much. Okay, 150 grams of water. Zero that out. And then 150 grams of flour. Here's the flour that I had. Okay, we're at 133. Okay, then I'm gonna do 150 of that. I'm gonna stir it with this, and then I'm gonna put this lid on and let it sit on my counter until it doubles in size. Okay, so I just mixed that, and that was my starter that was in the fridge. What's left, this little tiny bit, is now the discard. So I am going to add that to my discard jar. Once this doubles in size, I'm going to use that to make bread, and then whatever's left over will be the new starter that will go in the fridge for the next time I bake. Okay, my stuff is doubled, and you just loosely put the lid on. And so what was in there was 150 water, 150 flour, 150 of the starter, and it doubled. So now we're ready to start making our bread. So I've got some lukewarm water, my bread flour, my salt. We're going to do, and I put a bowl on here and zeroed that out to 100. So we're going to do 375 grams of water. We're going to do 100 grams of the starter. We're going to do 500 grams of the bread flour and 11 grams of the salt. So I'm gonna put all that in, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I put all the ingredients in, and then you're gonna mix it all together with this guy. I think you said you had one of these. And then after it's mixed, it's going to look shaggy like that. And then you're gonna put one of these little things over the top. A friend made these for me. I have some extra ones that I could give to you. Then you're just gonna cover it. And also I like to clean the sides of the bowl with like a wet paper towel, just because then the bowl's easier to clean. That dough doesn't get crusty. And then you're just gonna cover it and turn on your timer for 30 to 45 minutes, and then you'll start your stretches and folds. Okay, also, what's left in here from what I just used to make those, this is my new starter.
Don't forget the Fetzer valve.
So I am going to pour what's left of here into this little jar that has a nice tight lid, and I'm going to put that in my refrigerator to use for the next time I make bread. Also, I have heard that you might want to just like wipe this off and not let these big chunks go down your sink. I don't know if it's really that big of a deal, but I have heard that you maybe don't want that stuff going down your sink. Okay, so it's been 40 minutes, so it's time to do my first stretch and fold. So I just like to get a little bit of water on my fingers so the dough doesn't stick. And you're literally just gonna stretch and fold it in. stretch and fold it in, stretch and fold it in. And I just kind of do it until it doesn't really stretch anymore. So that's probably enough. And you're going to do this 3 to 4 times every 40 minutes. Okay, so this has been sitting for probably 4 or 5 hours, and it's pretty much doubled in size. So now we're going to do our last stretch and fold, and then we're going to put it in one of these cool baskets and put it in the fridge. So the first thing I like to do is put a little flour out so I don't stick to the counter. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little flour. And I like to use this gluten-free flour just because of my gluten issues, and I'm just trying to be careful. So, okay. Now we're going to put this on here, and I just use this little scraper to get it off.
Who's this video for?
Angie. Where are you going?
No.
Okay, so then you just plop it down, and I use my little scraper to kind of get all the rest of it. Put some flour on my fingers, and then we're gonna stretch and fold, stretch and fold, stretch and fold. So you're just kind of stretching and folding it into each other like so. And then we're gonna scooch it kind of around like this and into a ball. Like so. And then it just kind of looks like a ball on that side. And then I just kind of pinch it here. And then I get my little basket. And this little hood I've been using, I just put it over the basket, push it in like that, and then take this guy and plop it in. So it looks like that. And then I kind of just like to pat it with a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick to the saran wrap. Because then what I'm going to do is cover this in saran wrap and put it in the fridge. And you can leave it in the fridge for up to 3 days, but it just needs to refrigerate as little as 20 minutes. And then, so if I wanted to bake tonight, I would take it out after 20 minutes, put it in the freezer, and that'll be the next part. But so there you go. It's just like that. And I'm gonna stick it in the fridge, and I will see you for the next part. I'm gonna make sourdough today. So this has been in my fridge for 3 days. So I need to definitely bake it today. So I got my Dutch oven out, and there's still rice in it from the last 10 times. I just keep the same rice in there. Obviously it's a little brown, no big deal. So I am going to turn the oven on to 450. And you want to put your Dutch oven in the oven to warm up, and this will go into the freezer while this is heating up to 450 in the oven. Okay. So my Dutch oven is heated up to 450. So I took this out of the freezer and plopped it on a piece of parchment paper. And now I'm gonna do some scoring. So I usually just do one big cut down the side like that. And then I just like to do whatever on the other side. So I'll just do kind of like a leaf. Okay, and then I'm gonna put that in my Dutch oven with the lid on for 30 minutes. Then after 30 minutes, I'm gonna take the lid off and do another 15, and then put it on a cooling rack. Okay, out of the oven on the cooling racks, and they are pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, just slice this bad boy open, and it's got lots of holes in it. So I'm gonna say it turned out awesome.